We go over our four simplified radical expression with variables number one. Okay, here we go. So this is a square root. So this is even root. Okay, so this is even. So the answer should be have the absolute value sign. Okay, so now x to the 4, but this is power 2. The root is power 2, all right? So then you divide by 2. Okay, so now you come out absolute value x 4 divided by 2 is 2. But you know that x squared is always positive, positive. Okay, positive. So you don't need the absolute value sign. Okay. So I put my answer here. I put x squared, and that's it. Okay. Otherwise, I would keep the absolute value sign. Okay. Here we go. Submit. So let me move up here, and I submit. Done. Voila. All right. Next one, I do the same thing. This is even root. So then this is even, is all right. So this is power 2. So I need the absolute value sign in the answer. Okay. So now x to the 12 divide by, this is 2, is that right? So make sure you divide by 2. Okay. So I come out absolute value x power to the 6. But again, x power to the 6 is always positive. If you have the even power, it's always come out positive. So you can do it without the absolute value sign. Okay? Because if you put the absolute value sign in, they might say it's incorrect. So here, I put in x and then power to the 6. Okay? Here we go. Now, the number a little bit bigger, but so what? You got a calculator. So I can get my calculator. So here we go. I take my calculator over here. Okay, oops. Here we go. Okay, so now I clear everything else. Okay, so here we go. So remember, this is square root of multiple things, all right? So I can break them apart. Square root of 4a4, and then square root of x power to 18. Okay, 4a4, I can use calculator. Here we go. Square root of 4a4. All right, it come out 22. Okay, so now pay attention. The answer needs the absolute value sign because this is the even. This is the even root. Okay, so square root of 4a4, that's a 22. Okay, and then square root of x to the 18 is that x power 18 divide by this is power 2, all right? So divide by 2. Okay. So now you come out absolute value of 22 and then x power to the 9. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay? Now we're almost done. Remember, 22 is a positive number. It's always positive, alright? So you can test it outside. You can take it outside the absolute value. Okay? So this is your answer. Alright? So 22. If you keep 22 inside the absolute value, they will tell you are wrong. So pay attention. Okay, so I put 22 outside and I click on absolute value. Inside I put x power to the 9 and then I submit. Voila. Okay, next one I do the same thing. This is square root, so this is even, is alright, even. So the answer, make sure you have absolute value side. Okay, so now square root of number and then square root of x. So I can break down and do square root of number 121 and square root of x power to 14. Okay, so here we go. Absolute value side. Square root of 121, that's an 11. 11. Okay, and then square root of x power to 14. So you can divide 14 by 2. By 2, because this is square root, so the power 2, you divide by 2. Okay, so now you come out 11 x power to the 7. And again, 11 is a positive number, so you can move outside. Okay? That's it. Here I put my answer in. It's not that important. It's freezing cold. You should not be thirsty at this moment. All right, absolute value x power to the 7. Voila. Okay, here we go. Let's clear this out. Let's move to level 3. Okay, same thing over here. Ooh, pay attention. This is get serious. Okay, because you need to simplify this. Okay, square. So you break it down. Absolute value of square root of 525. And then square root of x squared. Okay, so now 525. 525, if you put in your calculator, 512, that's what I meant. Take a look. It cannot come out as a whole number, so what should we do? You need to simplify your square root, okay? So what does it mean? You try to find a perfect square inside 5112. Alright, so let's try it. So remember, perfect square is 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, and then so on, is alright? 36, and then the next one, 49, and then 64, is alright? How about I try 64? What? Ooh, 64, not bad. 64 equal 8. So what does it mean? It means that 512 equal so if you take square root of 512, here we go, it's the same as you take square root of 64 and you times 8. You see that? The two answers are exactly the same. Okay, but 64, 8, you can simplify further because 8 is 4 times 2, alright? So I put 4 times 2. Alright, so now take a look over here. I put down the square root, the number 2 stay inside. 64 is an a squared, so it becomes number 8. And then 4 is 2 squared, so take number 2 outside. Okay, so is that come out 8 times 2? Is that 16? 16 square root of 2. You see that? Instead of square root of 512, you can write as 16 square root of 2. Okay, so now you know. I would put in a corner of my paper. Alright, so now I put right here the answer is equal absolute value 16 square root of 2. Okay, and then square root of x squared, that's an x power 2 divided by 2. Alright, I divide by 2. Okay, close absolute value. Okay, so now I come out 16 square root of 2 and then x and then absolute value. Okay, so now one last thing over here is 16 square root of 2 is always positive, so I take it outside. Okay, and now I put absolute value of x. Okay, that's it. And if you want to do really technically correct, I will put 16 absolute value of x and then square root of 2 all the way in the back. Okay? But regardless, where you put down the answer also correct. Okay, so now I put it in the answer. Here we go. I put down 16 absolute value with x inside, and then outside I put square root of 2. Alright, and I should be correct. Voila. Okay, so now I would break them apart as cube root of 27 and then cube root of x to the 4. Alright, cube root of 27, that's a number 3. And then this is cube root of x to the 4, but 4 is not divisible by 3. So what should I do? I have to break them down at x cubed and then x1. You see that? Because 3 plus 1 is at 4. Okay? So now, if we can do it slow or we can be very slow here. Okay? So x cubed, cube root of x cubed, and then cube root of x. Alright? I break them apart. So now, you can see this part, you cannot go further. This part cannot go further. Alright? So this is 3, This is x power 3, cube root of x power 3, so you divide by 3. Alright? And in the back, you cannot go further. So now you come out 3. This one, x, 3 divided by 3 is at 1. You don't have to write number 1. Okay? That's it. So this is your answer. Voila. Okay? So I go over here. I put down number 3x and then cube root of x. That's it. This is the final answer. Alright, submit. I should be correct. Alright, next one. I do the same thing. Okay, so take a look over here. Alright. Okay, I can do cube root of 4, 4a with a negative sign. Okay, and then cube root of x 12. Okay, so now I can use my calculator. Where's the test? All right, thank you. How did you do?
13, 14.
All right, thank you. All right, so take a look over here. I can go and get my calculator. So go and get my calculator. Here we go. Voila. So I can try to do a square root, the cube root of 4, 4a. All right, here we go. Cube root of 4, 4a. I had the feeling it's not come out at a whole number. All right. So now we have to find the cube root inside perfect cube inside 4, 4a. All right. So now take a look over here. If you have number 2. Q, that's number A. So number A is a perfect Q, all right? And then the next one is 27, all right? The next one is 64, okay? So I have the feeling maybe 4, 4A, it can be divisible by 64. So 4, 4A divide 64, what happened? Oh my, it come out 7. So perfect. You see that? So now, instead of cube root of 4, 4a, I can have cube root of 64 and then time with 7. You see that? Two answers exactly the same. So 64 is a perfect cube, all right? So if I take it outside, it's only number 4. Number 4, all right? So inside, I only have number 7. See, bingo, they all have the same answer. So if you next time, if you take cube root of 4, 4a is equal 4 in the front and then cube root of number 7. Okay, so now I got my answer over here. You guys, you don't see the screen and you guys completely didn't say anything. All right, so now let's go back over here. 4, 4a, you try to take a cube root, you can see it come out as a decimal number. So let's take a look over here. Take a look over here. Perfect, it's a perfect cube right here. If number 3 would be 27. Number 4 is 64. Number 2 cube, number 8. So I would take 4, 4a and I give it a try. I divide by 64 and come out 7. All right. So what does it mean? It means if I take cube root of 4, 4a, it's the same as cube root of 64 times 7. But 64 is 3 cube, all right? If I put 3 cube right here, it's a 64. Here we go. I can put 3 cube. It's the same thing, all right? So now, hold on. 4 cube. 4 cube, all right? So now I can take the number 4 outside because this is 4 cube, all right? So that is the answer. So now I go back to my calculator right here. Here we go. My pen right here. So that this part should come out at negative 4 square root of 7. Okay? This part right here equal x power 12 divided by 3. Okay? So negative 4 square root of 7 and then x power 4. 12 divided by 3, that's a 4. Alright, so I got that. I put it in and I am correct. Do not forget a negative sign. Negative 4 cube root. Ooh, I'm missing that. This is the cube root. This is not a square root. Okay, so here we go. This is the cube. All right, so make sure it's over here. I put down cube root. Okay, here we go. Cube root of 7, and then move it outside, and then I put x power to the 4. X power to the 4. Okay, here we go. So I'm done. Voila. Okay, what level I am at? Level 3 already. Okay, you know what to do with this. Okay, this is square root. Okay, here we go. This is square root. So I give the absolute value sign. Okay, but actually the fifth 5 you cannot divide by 2. So I will break it down at to the 4 and then to the 1. Okay, so now here we go. Absolute value. So x squared, square root of x to the 4, and then square root of x. I can break them apart. Okay, so now you can see square root of x to the 4 is x power to the 4 divided by 2. Okay, and then square root of x, you cannot go further. Okay, so now I come out with x squared right here and then square root of x. But remember, x squared is always positive, so I can move it outside. Okay, and then square root of x is always positive already, so I can leave like that. Okay, here we go. I put in my answer x squared, and then square root of x. Voila, done. Here we go. All right. Let's do level 4 already. Same thing. This is even rooters. All right. So the answer need to have absolute value sign. Okay. So x power 12 over 4. 12 over 4. It come out x power to the 3. Okay. Power to the 3 could be negative. All right. So you leave the absolute value sign in. Okay. So here we go. I put absolute value sign x power to the 3. That's it. That is the answer. Voila. Fifth root, and then you have x to the 5. So the answer should be x, alright? If you do it slow, it should be x power 5 divided by 5. Should be x power 1, but you don't have to write power 1, okay? That's it. I will put in the answer is x, and then I'm done. Submit, voila. Okay. Next one. Okay, this is power 4. This is 6. This is 6. So I will break it down at x power 4 and then x power 2. You see that? Here we go. So now I can break them apart. Let's do it slowly. So x power 4, 4 root of x power 4, and then 4 root of x squared. So you can see the back part, you cannot simplify. You see that? This is done. You cannot simplify. Okay, the front part, you come out at x power 4 over 4. Okay? And then the last part, you cannot simplify further. One more thing. This is an even root. This is the even root. So make sure the answer come out absolute value side. Okay? Absolute value side. Okay, so now the front part you come out as x and then 4 root of x squared. Okay, so now the 4 root is always positive, so I only put the absolute value with the x in the front. Okay, that's it. Here we go. So that is the answer. So now I go and I get my answer. Here we go. Absolute value of x. Alright, in the back, I put 4 root of x squared. Alright, and I should be correct. Voila. Okay, next one, same thing. Okay, so this is even root, so the answer should be in absolute value side. Okay, 4 root of 16. 16 is 2 power to the 4. So the first part should come out at number 2, okay? And now the second part is 4 root of x power to the 16. So that should come out at x power to the 16 divided by 4, okay? So I come out absolute value number 2 and x power to the 4. X power to the 4 is the even power, it's always positive. So I can get rid of the absolute value sign. Number 2 is always positive. So the answer is 2 power to x to the 4. 2x power to the 4. Okay? So I put it in 2x power to the 4. Alright? Submit. Voila. Okay? So here we go. The next one is 4 root of 216. Okay? So this is even root. This is even. So the answer should be in absolute value side. Okay? So 4 root of 256. Okay? And then x power to the 20th. Okay? Is also 4 root. Okay? 216, 15. Okay, I have a feeling it's come out at 4. Alright? So let me get a calculator. Okay, 4 root of 216, it should be number 4. Okay, let me clear this out. Alright, 4 root of 216, 256, that's what I meant. It come out of 4. Okay, here we go, come out of 4. So now I can go back over here. Where is it? Where's mine? It disappeared. Oh, everything disappeared. Oh, it's still here. Okay, so I come out absolute value number 4. And then x power 20 divided by 4. Alright, which is number 5. Okay, absolute value of x power number 5. 4x power number 5. But number 4 always positive, so you can leave it outside. Okay, inside you keep x power to the 5th. Alright, that's it, you guys. I put the answer in for absolute value x power to the 5th. Okay, submit. Voila. Okay, so same thing over here. This is even root. This is even. So the answer in this absolute value side. Okay, so x plus 9, 6 divided by 2. You understand why divide by 2 is alright? Because this is square root. Okay, so I come out absolute value of x plus 9 power 3. Okay, power 3 is the R, so I leave at the absolute value side. Okay, so I got it. I put over here absolute value. Okay, and I put the parentheses. I put x plus 9, and then I move outside. I put in the power button. Power 3. Voila. Okay, here we go. Super trooper. Alright. This one very similar to the previous one. Very similar. So the answer is absolute value x plus 2 power 6 divide by 2. Okay, because this is square root, you divide by 2. So I come out absolute value of x plus 2 power 3. Alright, here we go. I keep the absolute value sign in because power 3 is an odd number. Okay, absolute value, parenthesis, x plus 2, outside parenthesis, put the power button, power by 3. Okay, here we go. Voila. Okay, we can do this. It's not a big deal. This is odd power, so you don't need absolute value sign. So you can break them apart at cube root of negative 1,000. Okay, and then cube root of x subtract 3 power to the 8. Okay, so this one, the front part, it should come out at negative 10. Okay, the second part, this is power A, so I'm going to break it down at power A. I will break it down at power 6 and then power 2. Thank you so much. Power 6 and power 2. Okay, so here we go. You can see the back part cannot simplify further. Okay? So now the front part, you come out, okay, let's break them apart. Okay? Cube root of x subtract 3 power the 6. And then cube root of x subtract 3 power 2. So you can see this part you cannot simplify further. Alright? This one stay. Okay? So now the front part you come out negative 10. This one is x subtract 3, 6 divided by 3, which is number 2. 6 divided by 3 is number 2. Okay? And then the back part, you cannot simplify further. Okay? So, here, I put the final answer up here. Subtract 10, x subtract 3, square, because 6 divided by 3, that's a 2. And then cube root of x subtract 3, and then square. Okay, so here we go. Put it in. Voila. Okay. Negative 10 parenthesis x subtract 3, move out parenthesis power 2. Okay. Move down. Now I put cube root. Inside the cube root, I put parenthesis x subtract 3. Move the cursor outside and I put square. That's it. Voila. Voila. Okay. That's it. Thank you so much.